right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Nodal Dragon Axis shift into an Aries Libra. It does happen on July 17th, but it's also July 18th, depending on wherever you are in the world. Now, my understanding is, and according to my software, it's taking place late this evening around the 11 o'clock hour on the West Coast. But so it is the 17th and the 18th. All right, let's get started here. So I do call this the changing of the guards, and every 18 months, the universal dragon energy shifts. These past 18 months have brought many things to light, and anytime you have a Taurus, Scorpio, Dragon's axis, secrets will get exposed. This is where even the rich and famous get a wake-up call, because no matter how wealthy one is, you cannot hide from a Scorpio dragon's tail. Donald Trump is a perfect example of that. Modern astrology pays very little attention to these nodal shifts. Vedic, which is sidereal, Babylonian, Occidental or Chinese astrology, and Draconian astrology, which is not practiced as much anymore, and divine, the Nostradamus method, are the only ones that pay any attention to the north and south nodes and their housing systems. Now, in Vedic astrology, now I did get this from Google, so it's a Google search. In Vedic astrology, astronomically, you got Rahu and Ketu, and these denote the points of intersections of the paths of the sun and the moon as they move on the celestial sphere. Therefore, Rahu and Ketu are respectively called the north and the south lunar nodes, and Rahu is responsible for causing the eclipse of the sun. Now, Nostradamus was able to create astrological predictions by incorporating a few ancient methods of astrology to work very well under the tropical zodiac. He took draconian methods, which represent the soul's purpose in life, mixed them with the teachings of the dragon's energy of Chinese astrology, and used the essence of Babylonian astrology, the ancient methods and power of the dragon's placements to see into the future, and how all of these energies will affect mankind by house, sign, and some degrees. Now, the Taurus Scorpio axis of 2022-2023, let's talk about where this dragon's tail has been these past 18 months. Now, Scorpio is either in its positive, the eagle, or in its negative, the lizard. This dragon's tail has represented the lizard energy and all of the negativity that has brought. Scorpio rules metaphysics, witchcraft, the underworld. This rules investigations, investments, morgues, cemeteries, morticians, insurance, police. It rules the FBI and the CIA. It rules the IRS. It rules the mafia. It rules the sex industry. And dramatic news where death and drama will always take center stage. A lot of our major shootings, not all of them, but a lot of them took place in Plutonic phase energy. Now, the witchcraft community takes a big hit in some ways, and lawlessness will arise, and the possibility of a civil war will not be taken off the table. Now, you could see that this did take place in Russia with the civil war and an uprising. There's going to be more of that to come, because this next dragon's energy in Aries is a warlike energy. It rules, what is Aries? The Lord of War. It rules Mars. Makes perfect sense. Now, deep and hidden secrets will be brought to light, and we have seen a lot of that in the past 18 months. I said to brace yourself for unsettling news about children, sex trafficking, police, the disgracefulness of the police with more violence and exposure of politicians, celebrities, and religious figures will all make the headlines. Now, They have made headlines, but a lot of these things have not made mainstream headlines. This is why there's a hatred for TikTok, because I do follow some independent news organizations on TikTok that have talked about this. Um, Mainstream media only gives you what they want you to hear and not what you should be hearing. Remember the saying, I learned it early on. The billionaires control the media controls the people, they control your information. So you have to look in the opposite direction every time. Now, the United States is a Cancer nation, and this dragon's tail energy we've experienced has been sitting on the USA's fifth house of love, children, creativity, and joy. Now, we have seen draconian laws go into effect regarding childbearing, which is women's rights, abortion, women's health, hormone therapies, new laws enforcing child labor. I cannot believe I'm having to actually say that in the United States, but yes, there are certain states that are trying to make child labor legal. Some of them have succeeded. And the illegal labor of children under 17 years of age. This is also a full-on assault on the LGBTQIA community. And unfortunately, I do believe it's going to get a little worse here, because anytime you have a tail in Libra, this is attacking the arts world, the not necessarily the liberal arts, but the theater, the arts world. In some ways, Libra rules Venus. It's love, beauty, romance, but it's also art. Now, the main reason they want to eliminate TikTok, I just brought this up, but I want to reiterate it, is because there is a decline in how many people are viewing mainstream media and receiving their news from independent news facilities all over TikTok. The days of hiding are over. If you are in the public or a political figure, you are being watched carefully under a microscope. Someone always has their camera going. Someone's always watching you in public. So, best advice here is to behave in public. Now, this is where platonic souls have feasted as psychic vampires on individuals, often with resentful, jealous, and dangerous tactics. Souls have been without any fear of laws, and there's no regard for any laws. There has been a natural lust for death and drama that has prevailed. Metaphysical powers are going to be used in the wrong manner and used to control, harm, and manipulate others. I've seen this a lot on TikTok. Oh my God. You have seen the suggestions from preacher men at the pulpit, talking about insurrecting witch burnings again. Those and that those should be resurrected along with our LGBTQIA community. We've heard pastors on TikTok and other platforms saying that this community should be executed. Some sexual diseases that were once thought to be eradicated resurface and make headlines, which has happened quite a bit this year. Now, the dragon's head has been these last 18 months in a Venus Taurus energy. This is a beautiful Venetian and earthy dragon's energy, where we will put more focus on the things in life that generate beauty for us. And um, it's a very Venetian energy, so it's about feeling sexy, buying things that make you feel rich in some ways, and buying even antique and vintage stuff is great. With this dragon, though, be prepared for earth changes such as volcanoes, tornadoes, hurricanes. Stress on the fault lines will be common. We've had a whole host of volcanoes erupting lately. We've had Iceland just recently, and we had a big earthquake in Turkey back in April. Um, we just went into some days of caution as of today, and the Munich phase is here. Well, not as of today, but a few days ago. And look what happened. Alaska had an earthquake with a tsunami warning. So, yeah, stars are very much connected here. let's see, where was I? So yes, bad weather. Uranus is also in Taurus. So those two together will make the earth shake. This is also going to make the finance department shake as well, because Taurus rules banking, finances, money, wealth, and possessions. You will see a change in the banking system, and currency issues leading to a new cryptocurrency are very possible with CBDC. Now, this is not in the newsletter. I am going to give this to you right now. Um, I think we're on what, July 17th? The next 10 days, you're going to hear breaking news. And that breaking news is going to be Joe Biden announcing that all Americans are going to be switching over to a digital currency. And this is all for your own good. They're going to talk about how it's all for your own good, the CBDC. So my warning to you right now is, if you have the opportunity, you need to move your money into Bitcoin. Um, there's always a disclaimer on here. This is not financial advice, but I am signed up with some major heavy hitters in the finance world, and I pay to be in those groups. So they're all saying, get your money out of the banks at least by the 26th of July, and at the very latest, August 1st, which August 1st is the full moon in Aquarius. So there's going to be some explosive, shocking news coming in the next 2 weeks with our monetary system here in the United States. I have a class you can take. It talks all about this, and I'm going to run another special on it, because um, when it things start hitting the fan, people are going to be frightened. And my video helps those that have no clue. It assures them how they can get out of this. So if you're all for having the government track your every move, then by all means do nothing. But if you want to do something and you have some money to transfer, especially if you have over 50,000, move it. Get it into Bitcoin. I mean, of course, we're all going to have to use the CBDC to pay our bills and stuff, but the bulk of your money shouldn't be sitting where the federal government can see every move you make. That's all I'm saying. Okay, I'm done with my spiel. Here we go. Now, people will be into shopping more, like I said, for vintage goods. Um, Taurus rules precious metals. It even rules gemology, like sapphires and rubies and things like that. It rules antiques, but precious metals, think of gold and silver. Those are always solid investments that will never depreciate. So if you're a little leery about doing the Bitcoin, do the gold and silver. There's going to be all sorts of new technology in the beauty and aesthetic world that will be introduced. I actually already see this just by going to some of those day spas and seeing all the new things they have to offer women, and men too. Men go too. It's like, wow, I didn't know they had that. So I am seeing that already in the last year or so. Now, Switzerland makes news, and countries formed in the month of May make headlines. Now, there was something else that happened. It was at the very beginning of the year, 2022. Switzerland made headlines with something else, and I can't remember what it was. But this is also like the death of Tina Turner put Switzerland in the headlines. There's that correlation. And even though England is a Capricorn nation, um, before there were boundaries and borders, Capricorn, it was a Capricorn nation. But the United Kingdom itself was formed on May 1st, 1707, and will make headlines in these next 18 months. I wrote this on January 10th, 2022, or I published this. I had been writing it several months earlier. The death of Queen Elizabeth II, and a new king is crowned. There is some headlines. Those are major headlines for Great Britain. Now, this energy is still going, though. Even though we're changing of the guards right now, the money situation is changing. Okay. And many souls in this energy have been able to make millions with genius ideas in business and investing in other people's money. Hard work will bring love and respect to others. And this placement that we've had signals that the rich are going to suffer financially and the poor will benefit monetarily. Now, what I mean by this, or what I meant by this for this Taurus, Scorpio, Dragon, is that it. I always say it's the boomer generation that's going to lose the greatest amount of money here and the amount of wealth, and they are actually the wealthiest at this point right now. Once this CBD comes in, um, and they don't move their money into cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, which is a currency, um, they're going to lose a lot. Okay, this is what I mean by some of us who have invested. Crypto is not a get rich quick scheme. Remember that. I've been dabbling this since 2017, and it is not a get rich quick scheme. But if you have patience and you disassociate yourself from the emotional aspect of it, you will be just fine. Those are the people that are getting ready to make a fortune. Now, some have already made this fortune with this energy. Some are going to make more of a fortune with this next energy coming in an Aries Libra. Um, the rich do suffer, the poor benefit monetarily, meaning the ones who've invested correctly are going to come out smelling like roses. Many of us will get creative, and that those things, those creativities that we inject are going to bring financial freedom and happiness. Okay. Let's also not forget, and this is not in the newsletter, I want to add this in. We have Jupiter sitting in Taurus for a whole nother year. So the dragon may have shifted out of Taurus, but the Taurus energy is still there, and it's going to be there till I think like May 25th, 2025. So we've got a whole year of this energy, and we need to use it to our advantage. Now, this dragon was directly hunting for all November and May born souls these past 18 months, and we all felt this energy. But those that were born with Scorpio and Taurus in them, whether that's the sun, the moon, the rising, the natal or hidden dragon placements in Scorpio or Taurus, you guys have felt this more than any others. I will also say that these past 18 months, our plutonic phases have been stronger, deadlier, and more violent than we have ever seen before. So I said this in the beginning broadcast. It's those days of caution when we're in a Scorpio tail. The plutonic phases are stronger because Pluto is ruled by, or Scorpio is ruled by what? Pluto. So and they have been. Those days of caution are your own negative and positive days. It's very important to know those days of caution, and both the ones for the world at large, along with the ones that are your own personal biorhythm days. Those are very important to know in order to get through this rough phase coming up. Um, this was for the 22-23. We're moving into the new phase now. I call this the changing of the guards. Now, the next nodal shift will be today, July 17th, 2023, and July 18th. So I am just going to update this in my newsletter because some part of the world experience tomorrow. And this moves into an Aries Libra axis. And I will say in this placement, it will stay in this placement for 18 months and move again on January 12th, 2025. The Aries Libra Dragon's energy will be directly hunting for all Libras, all Aries, and those born with the sun, moon, and rising natal or hidden dragon in Libra and Aries, you will feel this energy the strongest. You have to remember, Aries is one of two things in the zodiac. Aries is the toddler of the zodiac, but Aries can also be the warrior of the zodiac, and it's ruled by the first house. This placement is in its positive. This will signify the potential for growth, individuality, assertiveness. This will give us courage and also initiation. We could go into things and be initiated. And let's face it, in astrology, Aries especially are known for developing their own independence, their own self-confidence, and taking the initiative in their own lives. Um, I have a child that is Aries, triple Aries. Luckily, the rising is a very grounded earth sign, so there's not a full-blown obnoxiousness there. She's a very grounded young lady, but I could tell headstrong. Aries is the leader of the mind. They're the ruler of the head and the brain, so they're head strong. So we've got to use this energy in a positive manner. Okay, so this energy encourages individuals and communities to embrace their own individuality, pursue your own passions in life, and assert your needs and desires in a healthy and balanced way. That's how we ride this dragon into its positiveness. Okay. Now, Aries North Node is all about inventions, new leaders, new leadership, military, and new adventures and discoveries. Now, I want you to keep an eye on the presidential election. I didn't give you the free prediction, but this key word here, new leaders, new leadership. I don't think it's going to be Biden or Trump. That's all I'm going to say. But this gives us an opportunity for, like I said, new leadership. Keep an eye on Russia too. The military. Aries is ruled by the military, or should I say the military is ruled by Aries. You're going to see advancements with military. You're going to see the military get active and get busy. This is a warlike energy. But this is also where we as humans experience new adventures and discoveries. Military advancements, fleets, and stronger armies all over the world. This is the warlike energy of Aries is ruled by Mars, the Lord of War. This is also where the planet Mars will make major headlines with both good and bad news, negative and positive. The possibility of an increase in wildfires, explosions, violence, and warfare can be common at this time. We're seeing it right now with the drastic heat and droughts and no rainfall and fires here in Arizona. That's going to take place even worse next summer. We're in a fire wind dragon, so there's going to be a lack of water. So yes, there's a possibility of an increase in wildfires, explosions, violence, and all that horrible stuff. Um, There is also the possibility of many countries becoming very competitive with one another over currency, geopolitical issues, semiconductors, the precious metal industry, and of course, a space race can ensue as well. This is where the negative can prevail, as Aries is not known for its patience, its diplomacy, or its grace. And wars, battles, and dogfights can ensue. So you really, like when I say ride the head of that dragon, you don't want to fall into the negativity of Aries energy. Just because the dragon is riding on its head, everyone, does not mean tragedy and sadness will not occur. Most of the world has not had any cosmic consciousness and doesn't understand the cosmic energies that are afoot, and therefore creates tragedy. All right, moving on to the dragon's south node, the dragon tail. This is going to be in Libra, and this is going to create energy full of arguments, maybe some indecisiveness, a little chaos, unbalanced energies. The souls that feel they are above the law in some ways. Libra is the ruler of the seventh house. Seventh house is the house of marriage, contracts, and partnerships. Think of the Justice card in the tarot deck. What is the Justice card? What sign does the Justice card represent? Libra. And she is Lady Justice. She rules the laws, the courts, the judicial system. She rules court justices as well. Expect more drama with that. This is a sign, and it's positive. Libra is the sign of diplomacy, balance, and harmony. Like I said, justice, laws, and compassion. However, when the energies are riding the tail, everything can be quite opposite so that it fights and strives and searches to achieve that balance and harmony again. We will see lots of injustices occur. We'll be seeing fighting, lack of empathy, lack of strength. A lot of politicians and clergy and a lot of people out there are going to have absolutely no regard for laws or the Constitution. There's going to be mass manipulation. And this is also where deep guilt can prevail for the world at large, and some people may confess out of that deep guilt. You're going to hear about nations such as Germany, Scandinavia, Denmark, Algeria that could all make headlines, along with other nations that are ruled by an Aries Libra energy. They're going to feel this as well. But please remember, court justices are on the line this time. This tale is writing for them, their dishonesty and their corruption. Now, the months that will have the most impact on the world at large are going to be August of 2023, August 2024, October, November 2023, and March and April 2024, and September, October 2024. We will see an alliance happen between two nations. However, I don't think it's going to last, only to be broken and one nation devours the other. I'm speculating that might be a China Taiwan thing, but I don't know. The United States is going to feel this energy directly on their 10th house, and the 10th house is the house of public presence, public standing, accomplishments, achievements, goals, and opportunities. So, with this energy being right on the 10th house, drastic action and aggressive action is going to be taking place. The United States does not want to lose its dominance in the world, and that's what's happening with the American dollar. It's fighting, and that's why it's incorporating this CBDC in. Okay. Um, it's going not going down without a fight. The U.S. will be under a public microscope these next 18 months, from its people to its political leaders, and especially its military. We as a nation already look like a clown car filled with stupidity and ignorance. I mean, have you seen Congress lately? Um, and if we do not behave publicly, properly in public, this country will get exposed even more for its corruption, and an uprising of its citizens is possible. There's a reason why they're not showing you the uprising in France. They don't want Americans to get any funny, crazy ideas. Now, the dragon's tail is going to be on the United States' fourth house. This is the house of home, family, security, food, mothers, real estate, and the housing market. This is general security. This is where wars can break out, revolutions begin, alliances are broken, and so are many contracts that were once thought to be solid and binding. This country, the United States, isn't in a good place financially or mentally, and the democracy here is very flawed. The nation is divided. There is this imminence of civil war all over the world, along with many other countries, not just here. Once again, I will repeat myself. If you take anything away from this today, this is a war-like energy. Now, you'll have to go to my newsletter in astrologywitch.com. On this axis change, I posted an article about from the conversation, and it's talking about the United States' global ranking, and we went from 32 to 41. Um, we are right now ranking with Cuba and Bulgaria, but both of them are widely considered developing countries. We are not considered a developing country as much anymore, and we're slowly falling into a third world country. There's a lot of people in America that are in denial of that, but I'm telling you, it's a happening. So you can go to my website and look up that newsletter. And you could read all about that. But the general security of a nation is going to be in the headlines from a major collapse of the banking system. The housing market is getting ready to hit hard. Mass homelessness, displaced families, and even the beginning of a mass hunger due to food inequalities. Remember this, everyone. We as humans have the power to change the outcome of these dragon energies, but it's only less than 1% in this world that have any knowledge of these cosmic winds. I'm lucky and I'm one of them. I'm blessed to have been taught this. Now, I'm giving you 5 predictions. No, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 predictions. The rest, there's 31 of them. You'll have to join Patreon and be there for at least 30 days before you can get all of these. But one of the predictions for my Patreons was number 2. I said, and you already know this, all individuals born in April and October and in the sun signs of Aries, Libra, or born with a moon rising natal or hidden will feel, these 2 signs will feel this dragon's impact the most. Now, second one is there will be an increase in divorces and breakups. It is a good time to be a divorce attorney. Number 4, the death or ending of Vladimir Putin and his reign. This was where he could suffer health issues or already have health issues and not say anything, and self-esteem issues. This is where he loses power. You've already seen that with the Wagner Group. This is where there's more civil unrest and civil war prevails in Russia. I do think after looking at Pluton's stars and then looking at like Russia's stars, there's a new Russia coming. Could come as early as the summer of 2024. So there's that. Just watch and see what happens. Number 8, the United States has a real estate and housing crisis. It won't be as severe as 2008, 2009, but it's going to get bad. Those of you who have money saved, this would be these next 6 to 9 months, maybe 12 months. You should have a plan of attack if you're looking to invest in cheap property. There's a window of opportunity coming. And you guys already knew this because I already said it, but SCOTUS will make shocking headlines, and some of them will be removed via assassinations, impeachment, and resignations, and then this can also fall into retirement as well. A great revolt comes from the people in the USA in regards to the SCOTUS. So what I'm saying, there's something is getting ready to come out. I think I know what it is because I've already seen it on certain circles. It's not in mainstream media, but some of our, I talked about this yesterday live, some of our Supreme Court justices have been compromised by lobbyists and have gotten in there to make decisions to go in one political party's favor when the majority of the people don't want that. So it's not really, it's becoming a fascist state. And that's going to get exposed. You either can be lazy and sit around and do nothing, or you get out there and you revolt against it. One of the two. There's ways to revolt without literally getting in the streets. Okay, but they will make headlines. Now, all 31 predictions are for my Patreons, along with the full dragon forecast by house and sign. Like I said, you can join for $5 a month or $10 a month. $10 a month will get you a lot more, but the $5 is a sure bet you'll get all the goodies too. So a forecast for Aries, Libra, Dragon, access by house and sign. I'm not going to read those. You can go to my website, astrologywitch.com, and you can read. I only gave Aries and Libra. Patreon receives the entire zodiac for the 18 months. And these are your 23-24 Aries, Libra, Dragon, access energy. With an Aries dragon's head, there will be violent and warlike times ahead, but also It brings determination and drive to achieve success. By the time this dragon energy is over in January of 2025, I'm hoping, one can only hope, we will see less about Democrat and Republican, left and right, because we will have, it's like we're going to have a wake up call in the next 18 months about this. It's going to be more about human injustices and tragedies, and a new, like I said, a new Russia is ahead too. Exposure comes with the court systems, court justice. I'm reiterating this. I want this ingrained into your head, because the Libra tail rides them directly, and lots of changes are ahead with courts, laws, and justice. A paradigm shift is here, everyone, and a full restructure is here within our monetary system, our geopolitical system, the humanity's general security is on the line here. It will be about helping one another as a community. Now, Jupiter is in Taurus, which is wealth, abundance, and opportunities until May 25th, 2024. So use this benefic planet to your advantage, as this will help to aid in money, finances, and wealth. Wherever Jupiter is falling within your chart, it will aid in opportunities for you. I am hoping that compassion and kindness within our citizens once again prevails after this dragon is over. We have to expect the worst, but hope for the best, and take it one day at a time. Be kind to one another. I'm wishing all of you a very safe and positive transition into this next dragon's energy. Be safe and watch the stars, as they are a guide to celestial wisdom and even safety. Blessings, everyone. Be safe.